Hello there, you're in the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. It is Friday, November 19th, another beautiful album release day. Lovely day outside here in Tucson, Arizona. In keeping with the current trend, another strong day of high-profile album releases. Really excited to talk about some of that stuff with you throughout the course of the week. However, it seems pretty obvious that I need to kick this week off with our next artist. Adele is back with the next chapter in her autobiographical catalog. It's called 30. This is her fourth studio album, follows 2015's 25. And it's hard to believe it's been 6 years since we've heard from Adele. Always a pleasure to have her back, though. I love her voice. Music is incredible. I think this is probably her best musical performance to date. I'm really excited to talk about that with all of you. And then lyrically, another strong performance, another very personal record, keeping with the theme of all of her records. And publicly, privately, she's definitely kind of had a rough go over the last few years. She's gone through a divorce, and her former partner have a child. So I can't imagine how difficult that is to try to manage that situation in a way that's constructive for the child. A lot of stress there. And then publicly, she's world renowned now. I think she's sold 120 million records to date, roughly in that area, which is pretty wild. If she keeps making music at the pace she's, making it, like, she could be the highest selling artist of all time. No question about that. But very vulnerable style of music. And I think in return, you get this level of fandom that returns that vulnerability. And so with all the excess that people have to one another, and especially to famous people with social media, the emails, I can't imagine all the, honestly, just weird stuff that she sees on a regular basis, that she has to see, read, deal with. It's a lot. It is a lot to deal with someone who's as famous as she is. So this record comes as a byproduct of her really just withdrawing, trying to find that quiet space where, she can create as catharsis. And she talks about how she didn't really even want to put out this record at times, that she felt it was too personal. But I'm really I'm just glad it did, because this is her strongest record today, I would argue, lyrically, musically. This record is going to resonate beautifully with a lot of people, and especially with everything that everybody's gone through in the last few years. I think that her fans especially are going to love this next offering. Musically, this album is amazing. It's so sophisticated. And what's just the best thing about it is, Easy on Me, the lead single, the second track on this record, is a perfect example of, it's just her and her piano. But I would argue that the melodies that she's creating and those vocal hooks that come along with those melodies are just stronger. They're getting better. It's becoming just so much more of just as strong as her voice. I feel like early on in her career, a lot of people focused on the strength of her voice, and rightfully so. But I think the music is becoming strong to a degree where it's matching that. And I'm loving that she has developed that part of her songwriting. This record is really special because of her voice too. I love her mezzo soprano. It has this depth that allows her to explore these deep notes in a way that I think a lot of singers with her style of voice can't get away with. She's, to a degree, got this like raspy quality to her voice, and it lends itself to the moments where this thing is really getting bluesy and jazzy. And I'm really pleased pretty much with all of this record overall. It's a beautiful 58 minutes. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Let's get into the track listing. Strangers by Nature is your opener. It's this classical pop opener. It's got this subtle R&B influence to it, but I love the classical orchestration. I think it's something that is right in her wheelhouse. And she talks about how, artists these days just don't play around with a lot of these melodies. And frankly, I've seen a lot of it recently. There's a lot of albums that have come out that, artists are, bringing in orchestration. They're bringing in wood instruments and horns and beautiful string arrangements. And this opener, this song is just a great way to kick this record off. I was very pleased with that. Easy on Me, your second track, lead single. This is amazing. This is really Adele kind of at her finest, I think. Just her piano, her weapon of choice, just very simple. But the vocal performance on this song is incredible. The notes that she's hitting in some spots on this track are amazing. I'm loving the hook. I'm loving the melody. This thing is phenomenal. Your third track, My Little Love, is the only moment where I think this thing goes astray. And it really kind of bummed me out, especially with the runtime. It would have been nice to just have a nice single LP package on this thing. And this song, to me, you could have left it off. You could have done that. This is a bizarre song to me. I really like the chill R&B music, but this thing approaches the topic of her divorce. There's sound bites with her and her child, and then on the back end of this thing, because it's long, it's like 6 minutes. It's really just her in this vocal performance. It's a recording of her in this very personal, I guess, just revelation that she's having, and it's just for the rest of this record, this record is very personal, but it's not to a degree where I don't know. I just the song feels out of place. It feels like one of those moments that was too personal that made her question putting out this album in general. And I think that this album, for the sake of the just the continuity of the record itself and just the strength of the song overall, would have been better without it. But it's my only hang up with this record. My Little Love is the only little mark on this record that is damn near perfect in my opinion. Cry Your Heart Out is your fourth song. Great up-tempo pop song. I really like the simple percussion in it. It's got this subtle reggae feel to it, but another great melody. Really just a fine track there. Oh My God is your fifth song. Keeps that tempo going. It's got this stomping rhythm and just this subtle gospel element to it as well that I really dug. Can I Get It is your sixth track. Adele just kicking it off with an acoustic guitar. And the song really kind of reminds me of Heart, actually, is the influence that I got from that. And, again, showing off that dynamic songwriting ability. She draws on a lot of different influences. Even though her piano is the instrument of choice, she can, rock that guitar really well. And this song is a fine example of that. The percussion picks up. It's got this really nice pop drive to it. I really, really dig that song as well. Your seventh track, I Drink Wine. Great ballad of self-reflection. I like the funny title. And I think it's aptly titled as far as just the reflection and the lyrics. I'm really excited for all of you to read into that and to check out that song because it's a nice one. All Night Parking is this kind of interlude that this is another moment where I'm like, this album maybe could have gone without this thing just for the sake of continuity, for the sake of that one disc runtime, because then this gets into your 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th track, and Adele's just bringing the bangers to finish this thing off. These four songs, Woman Like Me, Hold On, To Be Loved, and Love Is a Game, are phenomenal. I mean, could be some of, I would say at least two of these songs could easily go into Adele's top 10. This is a phenomenal run of music. I have a feeling that this is going to be two LPs with the runtime, and the backside is going to be tracks 9, 10, 11, and 12, I'm thinking. They're all kind of long, so I don't know if you can get all of them. At the very least, you're going to have Hold On, To Be Loved, and Love Is a Game on the final side of this LP, and that is just a beautiful run of music right there. Your 9th track, Woman Like Me, has got this a gentle acoustic R&B feel, but all the other ones just, great vocal performances, great melodies and hooks, lush instrumentation. It really is just Adele doing what she does best. I'm really pleased with this record. I'm really excited that this finally dropped. She's been flirting with it for the last month or so with Instagram posts and stuff. And so I'm happy this is out. The quality of this record, minus that one track, minus My Little Love, I'm going to say it. I'm going to put my stamp down. I don't like that song. I don't think it belongs on this record. And even with the double LP, this is a vinyl please, though. This record is beautiful. It's really well done. It's great to have Adele back, and I think you're all really going to enjoy this record quite a bit. Please like this video, share this video as well, subscribe to the channel, help me do all the things to grow this project. Stay tuned throughout the week for more album reviews, and we'll see you next time on the Beat Sessions.